Hello and welcome to season 4 of the NGO Whisperer show. My name is Dr. Carolyne Opinde. I am the founder of the NGO Whisperer and the convener of the NGO Whisperer Masterclass, the official sponsors of the NGO Whisperer show. Joining us today for part 2 of Young Global Entrepreneurs Empowering Women and the Youth is Dr. Bukirwa Irene Kamara, the founder of Young Global Entrepreneurs. Dr. Irene, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Carolyne, again. And I'm really happy that you brought me back because I have so much to say. And I'm excited. That's all I can say. Thank you so much. I look forward to the rest of the show.
Working with underserved communities can be a daunting task when you think of where do I find people? How do I start? And the question here is, how did you identify the community that you are working in right now in Johannesburg? Which community is it? And in your plans for expansion, what other areas are you looking at?
Our project is currently based in informal settlements, and there are many of those. We had to look at this community, to look for a community where people are sort of organized. They are not on the streets because that is hard to do. When people, you can't go just pick people on the streets. We wanted some base. Where can we base ourselves? And informal settlements are organized communities. They have leadership, they have everything, but they're impoverished. So we said, look, let's drive around with Fundi, one of our executives in our NGO, and we drove around asking people, what is this community called? You see, of course, it's easy to spot it. People have shacks, it's just iron sheets and that, you know, they don't have much. They don't have water, they don't have electricity, they don't have, they're impoverished 100%. So we drove around, we asked the people, where are they your leaders? You know, we went in, we didn't just stay here and call people, we drove in there and spoke to these people. Eventually we got to some leaders, they told us, okay, here they are. Do you know, this is the leader. Okay, can we talk to you? This is what we want to do. That's how we started. And guess what? People were, when you are giving them something, they are receptive, they come to the table. Just don't exploit them. That's what they don't want. So we spoke to them, we said, we are not taking any money from you. We even took them COVID gloves, we took them some masks. I'm also a designer, I made quite a box of masks, we just donated them. So they realized, okay, these are some of us. I think they are not coming to take from us. So that's how we identify our communities. We go there and talk to them. We, first of all, it's easy, like I said, to spot. We drive in there and talk to the leaders. We find out where they are. And then we establish relationships. And as you say, what's the way forward? That was your question. Yes, there is something, it's big, because once we finish with the community and we see that it's going on, and not necessarily that, we'll start now looking at other communities and run parallel projects in the different communities, because there are many. And this is in Johannesburg, where people are living in informal settlements. They come from their homes, they believe they will find jobs in Joburg. That's how these informal settlements come up. When they get here, they can't get jobs because first of all, they don't have the skills. Secondly, there are not enough jobs for everybody in Johannesburg. But we are hoping by training them, some of them will realize, because somebody said, I have land at home. Maybe I must go develop that. So maybe we'll teach them to go back home and start developing things for themselves at home.
When you say go back home, you mean go back to the rural areas where they come from?
The rural areas, because a lot of the people from informal settlements are from rural areas. I mean, where they were born, and they don't have the skills there also. Maybe they have land. What can I do? What can I do? So let's make this a training ground and then encourage them to go make bigger things.
That is quite empowering. When they're seeking job opportunities, there is that rural urban migration where people are moving from rural areas, which are often underdeveloped, and coming to the cities to look for a job. And because of high unemployment rates in the cities, and most of these people are young people, what happens is they end up in informal settlements and townships, and they live in deplorable conditions. And now that you are training them, giving them the skills for small-scale farming and agribusiness, as you said, some of them even thought, maybe with the skills that I have and the land that we have back home in the rural areas, I can make something out of my life and have a better quality of life because of the skills that young global entrepreneurs is giving. So that for me is empowerment at its core. When you can change somebody's mindset, for them to see what they have in their hands, for them to see the wealth that they already have. That is amazing, Dr. Irene. And now I wanted to go further to ask, how many people are benefiting today from your program?
Today, the community working is big, but where we focused, where we started, we are having, we have empowered over 200 women, and those are families, and each family is having about 6 dependent people in the family. Dependents, that's, you may find it may be a grandmother or just children, but on the average, you can say 6 people. Some are lesser than that, some are more than that. Those are the direct sort of beneficiaries. And then, of course, there are others who learn from these. There's one lady, for example, she's with us, but she's also having a cooperative of women. So she tried to take on the skills to pass them on to those people. So you can see that's the primary beneficiaries and the secondary beneficiaries. So it's more than that, yeah.
And how has COVID impacted your work? I know that Help a Woman Feed Her Family came as a result of you responding to the COVID-19 pandemic lockdown and the effects of it, which was food insecurity and hunger in people's homes. Now that you have done that, and South Africa is still in various degrees of lockdown. Sometimes, it opens up a little bit and then the infection rates go high and then there's a lockdown. So how is all these things impacting the work that you're doing in the community?
We have this positive attitude as a team that where there's a will, there's a way. So yes, the progress is a bit slower than what we would have wanted. Of course, if there's lockdown level 5, you can't go to the place. You call the people, what's going on, this and that. So we are aware of the situation, of the current situation of the pandemic in South Africa. Therefore, we slow down a bit, but that we don't stop. Because like I say, we can plant the seedlings in here, in-house, and then just deliver them. That means you're already doing something. So it's slower, but it is still moving.
Who are you partnering with to make this work happen and become a reality and achieve the results? I know you mentioned there were different leaders in the community. Would you share with us so other people can learn how to enter into a community and how to consult and develop buy-in and ownership of the program from the communities that you work in?
Starting with the leadership within the community is very, very important for you to develop that first. You cannot go into these communities, start establishing yourself and just do things. So once we identified the community, we had to go and find, I said, okay, who are the people who are linked directly to government who are responsible for this community? And they directed us to their offices. So we put out our proposal to them, explain to them the most important thing people don't want to hear, I want money. No, you say, I don't want your money. I just want to start teaching these people. And then you must make sure that after that, with that is the stakeholders are many here. First of all, the community. So that's where we started. Those are our number one stakeholders. Even if they are beneficiaries, they are our number one stakeholders. They must accept you. They must accept your what do you want to give them? They must accept that. Once you get a buy-in from the stakeholders, that's the initial stakeholders, the primary stakeholders, who are the community, then you can go on to the next level to look at the leaders. I think, and then if you have church is powerful. And we also talked to the police, because you have to make sure that the police is on your side. So those are the stakeholders who are really critical when you are running such projects. I forgot one stakeholder, Carolyne. She's been powerful. I'm telling you, you need a person like Carolyne. I'm not saying this because I'm on her program, but there's something about Carolyne. She's persistent. Sometimes you are down and everything is crumbling underneath your feet. And then you need this one person who will tell you, come on, these things take long. Please hang in there. We can do this. So that is a stakeholder who is on the side, who is not directly into your project. She is to me, but this person who will tell you, get up when things are so bad, when that day you feel like, I've put in so much, but there's so little I can see. You need that one person, of course, and my team. I really applaud them because they're not paid, they volunteer 100%. They put their time and effort, and that's powerful. So those are my key stakeholders.
Thank you so much. We are truly honored for that positive response and feedback that you have given. And as you said, the community is your number one stakeholder for anyone who is looking at doing work in the community. There is a way in which you can get inside a community and be accepted before you start implementing your programs. And that is by getting buy-in from the community members and the people you serve, buy-in from the leaders, as Dr. Irene mentioned, and there are different leaders, government leaders, religious leaders, traditional leaders, tribal leaders. All those are leaders that you need to partner with and get buy-in, consult them, find out what is it that they can do to help their program. And once they accept you, just like they accepted young global entrepreneurs in the informal settlements that they are working in Johannesburg, then you begin to get support. For example, the landfill that they got and now have turned it into a community garden is as a result of buy-in from government, because that is a land that's owned by government. So that is a lesson that we have all learned here today. This is an educational show. It's not just about entertainment. It's also educational and inspiring, and engaging. Right as we come to the end of our show, Dr. Irene, what message do you have for governments? What message do you have for civil society organizations and for good citizens who are looking at improving lives of those who are underprivileged, looking at women and young people or any other person in the society, people with disabilities and all that? How can they do this? And how can we collaborate together?
We need to develop strong partnerships. And somebody will say, but how? Sometimes government doesn't look at this work, recognize this work in a way they should, because the work of non-profit organization, so we need more support from government and more, stronger partnerships, and to make it easy for us. Yes, they are not saying don't do it, but how best can they help us even better? Even financially, because we are saying, okay, build for us something. We are not saying, give us the money. How can you help us to do that? How can you help us, for example, pay for training? put some monetary support into it, especially with training. We want to train these people with skills. We need material for training. We are not saying pay us. You're not paying us, but we need that. So I'm not putting the blame on government, but if there's something in that line, then it will be easier for us to approach them. But now there's nothing set up. So I don't know, maybe there's something we must do ourselves, but that's one way. And then for civil society, there's a lot of those, and there's a lot of civil society involves also people like the industry. They are there. A lot of them have what they call corporate social responsibility, make it a little bit more accessible for nonprofits. And of course, they will be recognized. I think they can do that. And for the good citizens, the people on the ground, I think those are the easiest people to deal with. You just have to be honest with them and make sure you deliver as you have. Don't overpromise people. People don't, because you're going to get in trouble. I tell them, I don't have money for you, but I want to show you what to do. Be honest with them. Don't get your buy-in through money and say, I'll get money, I'll pay you. No, they will wait for it. So tell them, I don't have money to pay you, but I will teach you how to help yourself. And you'll be able to make money from that if you really do it. And some have done so. So, and then, yeah, for those are the things which I think the way forward, if you are trying to start an organization, trust me, there are hiccups. Sometimes they are really big hiccups, but never give up. And that's I have my buddy, Carolyne, she tells me, please, we are not ever giving up on this. Look at the bigger picture, look ahead. Always have that vision of looking ahead. What do you really want? Things take time. So please, and I think that's it. That's it from my side.
Thank you so much, Dr. Irene. Where can people find you on social media?
We are on Instagram, but we are more active on Facebook, Young Global Entrepreneurs, YGE. We have a website. You'll find a lot of information there as well.
The website again is youngglobalentrepreneurs.com for those who want to learn more and to collaborate and partner with Dr. Irene and her team at Young Global Entrepreneurs in South Africa. And for those who are interested in taking this model and scaling it and expanding into other countries, you are welcome to do so. As you can see, this is an effective, it is a scalable and replicable program that you can take and implement anywhere in the world where there is a community that is in need of addressing issues around food security and youth empowerment. Thank you so much, Dr. Irene, for joining us today to discuss this important topic on young global entrepreneurs empowering women and the youth.
Thank you very much. And I'm really honored to be here. And just the last word, don't always wait for big things to happen. You can always get there. So just decide on what you want to do and start. It may take 1 week, it may take a month, it may take a year, but at least you're making a difference. If we all do that, I believe we can change our environment and countries and the world. It's all about caring. I love the word caring. Let's go and care for others.
Wonderful, powerful. Last shot, let's go and care for one another and never give up, because you have everything within you to make a difference in the community. It's been a great honor and a pleasure to have you join myself and Dr. Irene for the last 2 weeks as we looked into the way Young Global Entrepreneurs, a nonprofit, is empowering women and the youth in South Africa through their scalable, replicable, and effective program, working with people in informal settlements. It's been a great honor and a pleasure to have you, Dr. Irene. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Carolyne. I think I'm more gratified than you, because we are able to talk about what we do and somebody giving you a platform is fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Carolyne, and I hope many people get this opportunity that like the one we've received at YGE. Thank you again.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to connect with Dr. Irene through her website, youngglobalentrepreneurs.com. Follow us on social media. As always, it's all about connecting people, raising funds, and impacting lives globally.